My beloved Madridistas, I have a little bonus video for you guys. Very short, but I just wanted to share this with you. The other day for the Betis match, I actually filmed myself walking, from my house down to the Bernabeu to my seats. I thought I would film it to share with you guys. The setup I have here is really amazing. I'm not saying this to flex or be a knob or anything like that. The point of the channel is to share my experience as a socio, my experience as somebody that has been watching Real Madrid for a long time and goes to every match. I just want to share some of that with you. So I film myself walking down and I tell you guys a little bit about the different streets and just a little bit of history where the bus comes and stuff like that. So just a short video. I wanted to share it with you guys so you know kind of what my routine is like on match days walking down to the Bernabeu. I hope you enjoy it. Thanks for joining me as always. Love you guys. And as always, a la Madrid. All right, my beloved Madridistas, I'm on the balcony. You can see the Bernabeu right behind me. This is a video I've been meaning to make for a while, which is just to show you guys my walk to the Bernabeu. This is kind of like my routine. I'm going to leave a little bit earlier just so I can record this and show you guys how, incredibly lucky I am to be able to just walk to the Bernabeu into my seat. So we're going to time and see how long it takes. So I'm going to cut it here, and we're going to pick up the video as I get downstairs walking out of my building. All right. So join me on my walk to our beloved and sacred Bernabeu. All right. All right, Madridistas, welcome back. All right, I'm just walking down a street called Serrano, and the corner up here, we're going to get to a traffic light, which is the corner of Serrano and Concha Espina. Now, Concha Espina is a name that is often used to refer to Real Madrid. It's often called the club from Chamartín or from Concha Espina. So this is sort of my routine. I walk down to this corner, and then we're going to take a right to the famous Concha Espina, which is where you guys always see the Real Madrid bus come down. So it's pretty cool. The bus has already come this time. I didn't come down for the bus because I figured, it's not a massive game. So it wasn't as crazy as it gets like during Champions League matches. If it's a big quarterfinal or semifinal match, it gets absolutely insane. So we're getting ready to cross the street here. All right, we'll talk about the lineup really quickly. By the way, I just saw the lineup before I left the house, and it looks like Arda Güler is not starting, but Gonzalo is, and Camavinga as well. So it looks like we're playing a 4-3-3 with Gonzalo as the number 9. And it looks like Camavinga is going to be in the midfield with Tchouaméni and Jude. And Arda Güler is sitting out for this one. It's a slightly strange decision, if you ask me. I think Arda is a very good playmaker, and I think he's wonderful as a number 10. All right, I think we can cross now. So it's a slightly adventurous lineup. I think it's certainly very offensive. We need goals, and we don't have Kylian, so Gonzalo's going to have to fill that role. But otherwise, there's quite a bit of muscle in the midfield. Jude, Tchouaméni and Camavinga are probably our most physical players, I think, in terms of just raw muscle. So I think it's quite a bit of muscle in the midfield, and then hope that Rodrigo on the right, Vini on the left, and Gonzalo in the middle can produce some goals. All right, we're now walking down Concha Espina, and if you look at all these buses that are parked right in the middle of the street, these are buses that come from all over Spain. Okay, so you have peñas, you have groups of Real Madrid supporters called peñas, and they have Real Madrid peñas all over the world. I've actually been approached by a bunch of them from Miami, LA, and stuff like that. But all these people come from different parts of Spain. So you'll see all these buses going all the way down the hill. So after the match, these guys have to get on a bus and go back to their hometown, which is in many cases many hours away. So you have to admire the conviction and the fanaticism of some of these peñas that make it all the way here just to watch a match. Now this street that I'm walking down, like I say, it's called Concha Espina, and we're going down to a square, a roundabout called Sagrados Corazones. And that is, you know, the legendary square, all the crazy footage that you guys have seen of Real Madrid, you know, when the bus arrives for the really big matches. That is where all those photos are taken. It's just like tens of thousands of people around this one roundabout. But this is the street where the bus comes down, usually about an hour and 15 minutes before the match. An hour and 15 to an hour and a half before kickoff, the Real Madrid bus comes down this street. Now, if this were a massive European night, the buses already come, which is why you see all these, you know, buses in the middle of the street. They sort of fill the street after the Real Madrid bus comes down. But if you were here on a big European night, or the Clásico or something like that, this entire sidewalk, you wouldn't be able to walk. And it would be the same on the other side. It's completely insane. And it's definitely something you want to see before you leave God's earth, because it's absolutely amazing, the atmosphere during the really, really big European nights. But we're walking down Concha Espina. We're going to get to Sagrado Corazones really, really soon. And then we're going to take a right. So I'm on the Padre Damián side of the stadium. You've got the Castellana on one side, which is kind of like the main boulevard of Madrid. It's a bit like the Champs-Élysées is in Paris. The Castellana is a massive avenue that sort of cuts the city in half. So one side of the stadium is on the Castellana, and the other side faces a street called Padre Damián. And that's where we're going in. We're going into a section called Tribuna, which is kind of poncy. It's a bit less crowded than a lot of the other segments of the stadium. All right, I'm getting closer. It's kind of a chilly day. It's a little bit chilly, not too bad. At least it's not raining, so we're not complaining. But we're making our way down. Okay, you can start to see the stadium here. All right, now you run into vendors and all sorts of stuff. An unusual amount of strollers, which I find interesting on a match day. All right, here you get all sorts of vendors. We're gonna cross over to the other side of this street. There it is. There's our temple right there. There's a massive group of people over there. I don't know if you can see that. That's the really crowded area, which is where the Fondo Sur is. So the south goal in Madrid is always the craziest part of the stadium. That's where the Ultrasur used to hang out. And there's a street, if you go to the left, near the Fondo Sur, there's a street there where all the Ultrasurs hang out and sort of, you know, do chants and flares and all that stuff. I'll take you guys there on another occasion. But for now, we're going to walk to door 45. All right, here you start to see all the police controls. This street here is called Padre Damián. The Bernabeu market is in that corner right there. Really, really cool. There's huge crowds in that section. This section is a little bit more mellow. It's right next to, our entrance is right next to the shop, the Real Madrid store, which is pretty cool. It's always full. That place is, I don't know how much money they make, but it's insane. I bought a couple of shirts the other day. They were so expensive. The club makes an absolute fortune in this store, so it's always really crowded out there. But we're almost there, guys. We're almost there. This is my routine. I told my uncle to wait. He's coming a little later. He didn't want to come so early. but I wanted to make sure I could film this for you guys. So this is the atmosphere on the Padre Damian side, which is pretty cool. So we're gonna go to door 45. Now it starts to get a little crowded. Let's see how long this has taken me so far. 8.5 minutes. Not too bad. I always joke around and say 6, but it's a little more than 6. It's more like 10. But we're gonna go in door 45. I'll show you how easy this is.
Jorge.
Sí.
Hola.
Hola. 45, ¿no?
Sí.
Vale, aquí, vale.
Gracias. All right, we're going in. Hola. This. All right, let's go into the temple. Here you got a VIP area, a restaurant called Door 57. Excellent food if you ever come. Now there's a massive gallery here, which is never too crowded. Like I say, this is a very poncy part of the stadium called Tribuna, so it's a little bit less hectic than some of the other parts of the stadium. But here you go. Just like that, we've gone from my balcony in my living room to my beloved Bernabeu. All right, guys, that was it. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope we get a win today. Thanks for joining me on my walk to the Bernabeu. Love you guys. Let's hope we get a win. A la Madrid.